Hello everyone, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we're returning to Strategic Command World War I, a new game out by Fury Software and published by Matrix and Slytherin Games. This is episode number 26 in our Let's Play series, where we're playing as the Central Powers, and the war is going very well for us. We're approaching Paris, we are obliterating French armies, we've broken out in the south, we have driven the British back in Egypt. The only where the war is going well for the Allies is in Iraq, and even there that's not going that well. Overall, the Italian army just suffered a series of mutinies, and the war continues to go better than I could have hoped. So with that being said, this was taken from a live stream from a couple of days ago, actually a couple of weeks ago now. I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to the live stream audio, and you can listen in and watch as we continued through the stream that we were conducting to hopefully eventual Central Powers victories. Russia's already been defeated, as well as all of Eastern Europe, minus Romania, who isn't in the war, and that's where we pick things up here. Okay, so they didn't pull their artillery back. So, what are we going to do with our artillery? Oh, those are fighters. I need recon. My fighters are all left in the rear. All right, let's recon, or let's see what we can do by flying over these British troops. I don't know if it gives us recon or not. It does not. Okay, do I have no one else? I thought I had one more fighter somewhere around here. That's Austria-Hungary. Where's our red? Oh, they're too far in the rear. I never moved them forward! Whatever. We shall pound them into the ground. We just need to get their entrenchments down to basically zero. Give them a little bit of a headache, too. Okay, so their entrenchments are zero. Go ahead and attack them with these Austro-Hungarian troops. Oh, these troops... Oh, God. 3-1? Eek. That was a mistake. Okay. The British troops' morale apparently is a lot better. I'll take that. There we go. Alright, so we drove them back. We'll move our cavalry forward here to attack this enemy aircraft. Can they entrench still? No. Well, the cavalry is going to get murdered. Let's attack this enemy artillery, as they seem to be the most important unit on the battlefield, especially when you break through the enemy lines. Got him! Got that air unit. Gentlemen, we're flanking them. Okay, so... may have been a tad hasty there. The British here seem to be a little bit more difficult to dislodge. Except the guys in the north that are totally cut off from supplies. Got in behind the enemy lines here. Destroyed that enemy corps. We flanked him in the north. We took Boulogne as well. Secondary supply, that should help our front. We'll pull these troops back. Alright, we'll try and surround the French troops at Amiens. We'll also attack these troops down here. Alright, so we're going to need some artillery forward here to the front. So we've liberated Belgium of the perfidious Albion. Reinforce these guys. So we've got a couple of exposed positions that are very vulnerable to the enemy. But the interesting thing is that we really are flanking the entire enemy position here along the line. So if we go ahead 1 to 3, 1 to 4, I'm going to attack with 1 to 4. And I can still advance into the enemy rear here. I'll swing these troops up 1 to 4 again. Move these troops here to 0 to 1. These guys can come in behind Dijon. This artillery can pound these French troops a good deal at Dijon. They're upgraded French troops, but again, if we hit them with enough artillery, their entrenchments go away. Or a good deal of their entrenchments go away. Go down to level 3. Their morale is down as well. 1 to 3. 1 to 4. 1 to 4. Nice. So we've completely flanked the French position. Lyon is vulnerable. The entire southern portion of their line is vulnerable. Some of these troops that we left behind do need to reinforce. So we need to take a moment to pause and let them do that. Meanwhile, our line in the south is a little bit thin. I think probably the best way to bring up additional troops, though... We've almost got this pincer, by the way, this encirclement of 3 French corps down here in Arciar. Yeah, I've broken through. The French troops in the north of Paris, however, don't want to surrender. I could definitely wear them down with continued assaults. So like 3, 4 infantry assaults here might wear them down, but it would be kind of unnecessary casualties from my point of view. I think we just need to bring up these reserves, make sure that we've got some artillery that'll be in range of them. Bring some of these reserves south. We've got a lot more manpower in the north than the south. Okay, so meanwhile, these are enemy light cruisers. Intelligence appears to have been wrong about enemy cruisers up there. Meanwhile, do we have any enemy warships coming our way? The channel looks like it's clear. So that flank is secure. So we've still got enemy ships over this way. Enemy battleships over here. Let's move. Alright, so we know there's an enemy dreadnought and light cruiser in the south. What do we have? Let's try and sink this guy. 3 to 2. I'll take the casualties. Two to 2. British battleships are tough things. Two to 2 with our pre-dreads. cruisers can act as a little bit of a shield for the damaged ships over this way. My battleship that's already suffered heavy damage finishes the enemy off. Have this sub go this way, so this is totally shielded from enemy attack. I don't think we can afford to push north this turn. I think we've just got to stick to the south, go after this enemy light cruiser here and take the victories where we can get them. Alright, so we'll pull our ships back. I mean, it would have been nice to finish off that cruiser, but we didn't. Still, we got the 700 national morale for sinking the enemy battleship. I guess this guy could go to try and finish him off. But all these guys do is run away. Good point. We should have more cavalry on the southern flank. We'll rail them there. Maybe they can break through next turn. Probably should also rail some cavalry to the Italian front in the event we get an opportunity to break through there as well. Whoops. So we still haven't moved all our troops over, by the way, from the Eastern Front. Okay, so we've encircled these troops here in the south, or damn near encircled them. Meanwhile, we're pushing in the north near Paris. We'll see if the enemy counterattacks. Our troops are a little bit exposed here to the south of Paris, but that would probably require they pull troops away from Paris, which is not something I'm sure they want to do. I can hear the uproar in England already over the loss of the British fleet. Or the casualties of the British fleet. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep bringing my subs south if the enemy wants to chase them. By all means. Germany's going to reinforce its warships. The ones that are in port, anyway. Meanwhile, I need to bring some headquarters units forward. Supply's starting to get a little bit strung out in our advance. Supply's better in the south, I think. So moving these guys forward, supply next turn. It'll be mostly okay for most of our troops. Some of the troops at the bleeding edge are a little bit low on supply. Meanwhile, moving to the Italian front. Destroyed that Italian corps here. We've attacked or broken through near Milan, or are advancing on Milan. Sorry, we haven't actually broken through there yet. But we're pretty damn close to a total breakthrough. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, in the south, can we... Alright, I'm going to try and destroy some of these detachments. Just to break through their lines. Okay. Alright, continuing to advance in Italy. It's a little bit clogged. The front's a little bit restricted. A little bit too narrow. But we might take Milan next turn, which would be great from a morale perspective. Meanwhile, the fleet in and around this area... There's an enemy cruiser over this way. We really should mine the British battlecruiser in harbor. Got it! Nice. Okay. Nice little national morale bonus there. Destroyed that Italian cruiser. So the Navy situation, the British are down to 24 warships, the French 10, the Italians 4. One of the British battle cruisers is in the Adriatic. Also, by the way, we can upgrade our Navy now. Or at least to ASW, I guess. I haven't researched naval weaponry quite yet, but ASW upgrades will be good. The enemy has several submarines in the area. So that'll be valuable, I think. I'm going to sail my destroyer over to Tirana because I want to see if I can... If the enemy gets lured up here, great. If not, then I'm going to mine these enemy subs or do something, I guess. I'm not quite sure what. Okay, so the enemy has pulled back from the Sinai. They've got to be here along the... Alright, so advance those German troops, and they suffered a little bit of a surprise. We'll hit their headquarters there. Move our artillery up there. Then we'll go ahead and attack their artillery with our Ottoman troops. Can we reinforce these guys yet? We can. Alright, so we're pouring into Egypt. I'm thinking that that'll be a pretty big victory here very soon. Move our aircraft back. We've got our headquarters almost there. Our Ottoman troops are, or our Austro-Hungarian troops are force marching. Everything they can do to get there faster. We've almost reached it. Hopefully the British are going to outreach their supply. I don't think there's any natural supply centers there. But we're into August. Germany, meanwhile, is researching a lot of shit. We're going to research naval warfare. Tank development for the Austrians. All right. Okay, so I think that's it for this turn. We'll see what happens next turn as we move forward into, I think, October. USA, oh, good question. Diplomacy. USA is at 23% for the Entente. I guess Germany can put some more diplomacy in there to try and slow that down. Meanwhile, Romania is 31% for the Central Powers. Norway's 42%. Denmark's 11%. Finland's 40%. Portugal is angling toward the Allies. I don't know how much they would really add to the fray, but we're going to go ahead and move forward. Norway is not so happy. Their commerce continues to get raided by the British. Nice. Now we have advanced subs level 1. Naval weaponry level 1 for Austria-Hungary, so we can upgrade those warships. And will fare better against the Allies. Kind of surprised I haven't seen British warships with, like, warships level 1. Von Hindenburg replaces von Falkenhayn as Chief of Staff. British destroyers are going to continue going after our subs. They'll probably sink them. Not too worried about it, to be honest. If it occupies them so our fleet can get away, that's okay. They do get a nice little national morale bonus every time they sink a sub, though. Every time they think a sub, banana. Alright, so they move some troops to Lyon in the south. They've railed them there, so they can't move this turn. But they did move some troops to Lyon in the south to block our advance south into the heart of southern France. They're on life support. Yeah, that's a good call-out. Meanwhile, the enemy moved through a minefield over there on the right. Enemy aircraft in the Middle East. The only place that the Allies are really doing reasonably well and having in some sort of success seems to be near Iraq, where our reinforcements hopefully will stem the tide. Meanwhile, they've moved in and taken Najaf, or however you pronounce that. We're going to use artillery to bombard Suez next turn. There's also a bunch of British national morale objectives in Egypt. Was that really the whole turn? That was fast. So we lost a sub. We've also detected an enemy. Following Erich von Falkenhayn's dismissal from his position as Chief of Staff, he has requested a command in the field. Providing him with the necessary logistical support will cost us 200 MPPs at 500 MPP a turn for 4 turns. Would you like to provide von Falkenhayn with a field command, or shall we let him retire into obscurity? If you need another HQ, then it's advised to say yes to this. Following his replacement as Chief of General Staff by Hindenburg, von Falkenhayn was to serve with distinction in the Balkans and Middle East. Von Falkenhayn's 9th Army was to capture Bucharest toward the end of 1916 the following year. He was to see service with the Ottoman Army in Syria. Yeah, he was a really good general despite his failures on the Western Front. Yeah, maybe it's the fact that they don't have enough artillery left. I don't know. Alright, so we're going to bombard Amiens with this artillery. That's the only target they can hit. So they're going to expend all their ammo. Reduce the enemy entrenchments considerably. Reduce the enemy morale considerably. So that's all of the Dutch artillery's ammo. Meanwhile, the French morale is down to 8%, so they're probably going to surrender soon. Okay. Alright, so this artillery is going to focus on the British 2nd Corps here, which is guarding the railway line in toward Paris. We've got a fair number of shells here, so we can hopefully eliminate their effectiveness entirely, although their morale and readiness are much higher, still above 60%. I'm going to use the remaining shell there because their morale is still above 50%, even though their entrenchments are down to 0, so we'll do that. We took out some of their health. Our experienced, cracked German troops cracked them like an egg, and then our Belgian troops come in here to finish them off. Our Norwegian, or our Dutch troops there. All right, so we are now at the suburbs of Paris. I don't even know if we need to take Paris, to be honest. The French troops' morale is already so low. French national morale is already so low. Probably, we might even beat them this turn with destroying all of these enemy troops. It may not even require us to take Paris. Just destroyed another French corps. Oh, that was a mistake. Oh well. I should have just taken the advantageous forecast before I moved my unit. Alright, so Lyon will fall in the south. Okay. Take these troops at 2 to 4. I'll take that. 1 to 5? Didn't quite happen that way. Shatter those French troops to the east of Paris. Reinforce these troops. We could start attacking at Paris now and working to reduce their fortifications. Or we could move artillery in to prepare to do that next turn. I think we'll save it for next turn, if there is a next turn. Okay, we'll move these guys forward. Alright, so Paris will fall... I'm almost certain Paris will fall next turn. If the game lets us last that long. French morale's at 6%. God damn it. Well, I guess I'll destroy that enemy light cruiser. Anything to reduce their morale. The seaplane tenders are surprisingly difficult to destroy. They seem to be very nimble. It's like, oh, you only hit them twice. Really? I mean, they don't really shoot back. That's the one perk for them. But they do seem difficult to kill. Even your destroyers. It's like you'd think they'd be able to like move up on them and torpedo them or something. Please, yes, please keep retreating toward my toward my ports. Got him. Okay. Put a mine there. Pull my damaged ships back into port. The real damaged ones back into the Baltic. Reinforce these guys. All right. So the German Navy is going to very quickly be reinforced to near full strength. We'll have our other warships pull back this way. Our Dutch subs will screen our battleships. And we should be relatively safe at this point, I think, from any enemy warships. I mean, in terms of what the enemy has left, they've only got 22 British ships, 10 French, and 4 Italians. I think the Central Powers navies actually outnumber them. It's really mostly just destroyers that it seems like. There might be a seaplane tender up there in the north somewhere. But anyway, so that's the naval war. The Western Front has been fought. We need to move down to Italy. Did I reinforce these guys, or they already moved? They didn't move, or they moved. All right, so the Italian front, meanwhile, can we take Milan? Oh, it looks like we're going to take Milan. Oh, it looks like we're going to take Milan. Yeah. Boom! There you go. Meanwhile, the enemy has troops at Turin. Oh no! They caught us by surprise! We're almost to the French border, by the way. Can we turn the enemy flank here at Parma? Split the enemy troops at Genoa and drive south? I think we can. Yes! Destroy that core there. We have split the line in Italy. We've driven across the northern edge of the peninsula, and we've cut these Italian troops off to the west. Meanwhile, our own troops moving down south. We'll move our artillery so that next turn it can pound the enemy at Bologna. These German reinforcements. Italy's days are numbered, my friends. Do they even have partisans? No. Cavalry will move up to the front. They may break out as well. Whoops. Move these troops into Venice. Okay, so I think the city's named after a bologna sandwich. I could be wrong. I had a friend who actually did international study there for a year. She had a great time. Apparently Italians throw plates out of the window on New Year's. Or so I was told. It's an interesting tradition. All right, can these guys lay mines? They can. Very good for you, sir. You're going to lay mines here and here. Move the sub back here. Then we're going to actually lay mines in the one remaining exit of the port, and then we're going to bring our fleet out to play. And now, by the way, the Austro-Hungarians have naval weaponry level 1. So they now probably have superior weaponry to even the British Navy, which is kind of ridiculous, but hey, I will take it. I'm guessing the AI's focus was not on naval weaponry in terms of its spending priorities. Meanwhile, Germany also has now advanced subs. Oh, there's a French battleship! What are you doing down here, sir? My good sir? I would be very excited to get to know you. Yep, you can go there. Reinforce there. That'll allow us to bring these battle cruisers and battleships closer to the French destroyer, or French battleship, or whatever it is. Did town signal anything out the window to signal a new year? Okay. Alright, so that front's done. Can we recon back here? I just want to see if the enemy's behind it. They're not. So we're going to swing in behind, I think. Yeah, we're going to swing in behind Najif. Move these Austro-Hungarian troops there. So we're going to get 1 to 2 here against this detachment. 0 to 2. Oh, we should be able to finish them off. Ah, not quite. Got him! Alright, so we destroyed that enemy detachment at Najif, however you pronounce that. Force march these guys into Baghdad. Bring our headquarters forward. Entrench this way. So if the enemy comes up to engage you, then you can resist, advance these guys along the road to the rear of Iraq. If the war continues much longer, we'll have this British unit encircled too. The enemy armies are rapidly shrinking in strength. So we'll go ahead and attack Port Said. I think it is also a national morale center. So a successful attack. Yep, it is. So a successful attack there. German troops are going to attack this British headquarters here to the south. Ottomans as well. We will actually save our artillery for another turn, because we'll get a bunch more ammo. They're going to move to Syed next turn. Actually, well, nope, they can't move this turn, but they'll move there next turn. Then we'll go for Alexandria, Suez, and Cairo. All national morale objectives. Can we buy new tanks yet for the Germans? Tank Corps, not yet. But we have tank development level 1. We just don't have the doctrine for it. Damn! Yeah. Alright. So, I think with that being said, it's time to move forward to the next turn, and we'll see what happens as we move into October of 1916, if the war even continues to continue. Italian morale drops due to the fall of Milan. British morale falls due to the loss of Port Said. Entente raiders disrupt Norwegian-German convoys. Rough seas are hitting one of our ships. Germany develops naval weaponry level 1, so now we can refit our navy and then sail out to meet the British on more equal footing. We've already done a good job of attriting, I think, most of their heavy warships. So I think, assuming the enemy continues to resist, that Paris will fall. I'm hoping that I can take Turin, Paris, Suez, Cairo, Alexandria. It would be great to take like 5 national morale objectives all in one turn. I don't know how realistic that is, but if it can happen, that sure as hell would potentially cause the enemy to throw in the towel. No, J Street, I don't think I'll have to invade the British Isles. Bon Bleeder, thanks for the follow. The others, thanks for the follow. Pilot NGB, thanks for the follow. I think I missed your follows earlier. And if I didn't, well, I'm glad I could thank you again. And Valor Bins, thanks for the follow. Appreciate it very much. As well as there were 2 new subscribers between streams, and I'm not quite sure who. I guess I could look back through to see who they were. I don't know if you guys are watching, but if you're a new sub as well, thank you very much. Oh, French. Don't bring your navy into it. You're just asking to lose more morale. Oh, the French cavalry. Maybe we'll get a grand cavalry charge near Orléans. Oh, they pulled back their battle cruiser. Lame. No French glorious cavalry charge near Orléans. They entrenched. Damn. Well, that was a fast turn. Italian morale falls below 25%. All right, everybody. That's going to do it for this episode. The war continues to go exceedingly well for the Central Powers. We are on the doorstep of France's capital in Paris. There is a verge of a breakthrough in Italy. We have driven deep into Egypt. All things told, the war is going very well indeed, and we're whittling down the Royal Navy without suffering a catastrophic defeat of our own. With that being said, this is as good a point as any to wrap it up. So I hope you guys are enjoying the series. Let me know your thoughts below as we close in on ultimate victory. And until next time, as always, this is the Historical Gamer saying thank you for watching, and I'm out.